Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark with the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2002 Hungarian crime drama Hukkle. That's really creepy, dude. I don't know why he's staring at me like that. Let's just hope he goes away. I'm reviewing every movie that has 100% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm giving them all a score of 1 to 10. After I watch them and score them all, I will rank them from worst to best. I started in the 1920 silent movie era, and now I am at 2002 with Hukkle. This movie has a 100% fresh rating from the critics and an 83% fresh rating from the audience. And I don't think I'm going to be able to answer this question, but why do Hungarians hate cats? I guess that's what I want to lead with here. So I reviewed Satin Tango a few weeks ago, and in that movie, a cat is poisoned and eventually dies, and that's a movie from Hungary. It's an everyday movie about a small town in Hungary, and the happenings that are going on in this town. Now we have Hukkle, which is a 2002 Hungarian movie about a small town, about the everyday goings-ons in this small town, where a cat also dies. So what's with cats dying in these early Hungarian movies? I don't know. So I am going to read the IMDb synopsis of this movie for you, which is not something I normally do, but it just sums up this movie so well, I don't think that I could write anything better. Now it says, using almost no dialogue, the film follows a number of residents, both animal and human, of a small rural community in Hungary. An old man with hiccups, a shepherdess and her sheep, an old woman who may or may not be up to no good, some folk singers at a wedding, and while most of this film is a series of vignettes, there is a sinister and often barely perceptible subplot involving murder, and that was brought to us by Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous, for your fantastic synopsis of this movie. So basically, that is what this movie is about. It says there's almost no discernible dialogue in this movie, but there's really no dialogue in this movie. There's a portion where people are like playing bowling, where you hear different voices in the background, but you can't tell what anyone's saying. I think this hurts this movie, to be perfectly honest. I was intrigued when I first found out what this movie was about, that there was no dialogue in it, because I've never seen a movie with no dialogue. So I thought, wow, this is going to be revolutionary. This is going to be fantastic. This is going to completely make me change the way I think about cinema, especially since it has 100% fresh rating. It didn't do any of that, really. And I think the reason for that is this movie is just so boring. The lives of these people are so boring. I don't care about any of it. And with no dialogue, like it says that there's a barely discernible subplot of a murder going on in this movie. That's correct. In the middle of the movie, we see a scene of a lake with a body in it. And then, like, a cop, it seems like, is investigating the murder, but is he? I don't know, because he also went and arrested this old woman who looks to be like she's up to no good because she was making moonshine at her house. So was he investigating that and investigating the murder? I really don't know, because the movie doesn't tell me, and it doesn't really give me any clues as to what he's doing here. And that's a problem with the movie as a whole. Like, I'm okay if the movie doesn't flat out tell me what it wants me to know and flat out tells me what it wants me to feel, but I need some clues. I need to be able to figure this out as it's going on, and I just don't feel like Hukkle is that movie at all. I'm so confused. Why are there random animals in this movie? Like, there's a frog that gets eaten by a fish. Now, I'm pretty sure the frog was actually really eaten by the fish. I don't know that for a fact, but I don't know how they would, like, not make that real the way it was filmed. And I'm pretty sure that maybe this is like an actual town that someone took a camera in and was filming in. I don't think the murder thing was real. Who knows? But the animal wildlife thing probably was real. That synopsis also said something about a wedding. At the end of the movie, there's people in a chapel singing, and there's a wedding going on. Who's getting married? I have no idea. Does it matter? I don't think so, because that never comes up again. It's just people getting married. The synopsis also mentioned that there is a shepherdess and her sheep. Sure, I don't remember that. Obviously, it was like central to the plots because I remember nothing about it. What I do remember is that man with the hiccups, because at the beginning of the movie, it opens up with an elderly man hiccuping, and he walks down the road. Like it looks like he travels down the length of his property to like where his porch is. He sits on his porch and he starts hiccuping some more, and that's basically all he does is hiccup. And then at the end of the movie, it seems like we've gotten to a point where he stops hiccuping. Like there's a climax of the movie where maybe things are going to start ramping up, and he stops hiccuping, and there's a reason for it, and he hiccups again. Like okay, so like I thought I had that figured out, but I didn't. There's like it says, there's different vignettes in this movie, and none of them tie together. None of them seem to be for any reason. It's just to show a small Hungarian town, and the going-ons in this Hungarian town, and hopefully you're able to piece together things without any dialogue. I wasn't able to. A lot of things I thought I understood, and then I think at the end of the movie I understood more things because I started really thinking about how things tie together. But it's so confusing, and I mean, it seems like this is like when I reviewed Beowulf and I talked about the art in Beowulf and the CGI. It seems like they were trying to mess with something. They were trying something new. They were trying something that hadn't been done before to be creative, and it just failed, like the art in Beowulf. You don't see that CG type of CGI anymore because it's absolutely abysmal. It's terrible. The CGI in that movie was horrible. None of it looks real. And it's like this movie, they're also trying to do that where they're trying to have a non-dialogue movie, but I just don't think it works. And it's been a long time, I feel like, since I've really said a movie bores me. Even with Satan Tango, like, I found things to enjoy about it, even though it was like, it was like 7.5 hours long or 8 hours long or something like that. And there have been other really long movies that I have reviewed that were not action movies that didn't like every scene wasn't compelling, but I still found something to really enjoy about it. And in Hukkle, I'm just struggling. Not only because it's slow, but because of the way animals are treated. Now, sure, like in an everyday life, in a small town, a frog's going to get eaten by a fish. Of course, it happens, right? But I don't want to see it on camera. I don't want to see that happen. I know that it happens, but I don't have to see it. Just like with this cat dying. Like I love cats. I have 2 cats. One's asleep on the bed right now, and why do I keep having to watch Hungarian movies kill cats? I don't understand it. Like I get it. Cats die in Hungary every day. In the small towns, cats die in Hungary. I don't have to see it. I don't want to see it. This movie really had nothing for me. The problem I'm running into with my 10 out of 10 rankings, my number rankings, is I thought this movie was boring, and I didn't enjoy it. Still better than some of the other movies that I've seen, so I have to give it a higher score than maybe I want to, because it's comparative to the other movies that I've ranked. I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. Not a whole lot to talk about here, because nothing really happens. So, as long as you understand that IMDb synopsis I just read you, those vignettes, what happens in those vignettes, that's all you need to know. You don't even need to watch the movie, because that tells you exactly what the movie's about. It tells you what it exactly is. You don't have to watch this boring movie. You can just read the synopsis and tell everyone you saw it. None of your friends are going to have ever watched this movie, so you could just make up whatever you want, tell them whatever you want, and you'll sound like you watched a 100% fresh Hungarian movie, and maybe you have something over on people because they have never seen Hungarian movies. Anyway, it's a 7 out of 10. I hope you join me tomorrow when I review the movie Mind Game. Man, talk about a step up. I am so excited to review Mind Game. What an amazing movie. Anyway, I hope you join me next time.